Hello everyone and welcome to Java Forever course. Currently we are learning handling input and output, and in today's class we will focus on input commands. In the previous class we have learned to use the output commands such as print, printf and println. I'm going back to my diagram on computer architecture, the high level computer architecture. In that one we talked about that we have in 4 blocks. We have input block, how to accept input from keyboard precisely. Then we have some processing, which when we write code, actually we are writing processing instructions. We are giving commands. The Java code is nothing but processing, and Java code gives us an output, what we on the console or on the screen. And behind the scene, processor also uses memory specifically to store all the values of the variable we declare. All the computation happens here. Storage of variable happens in the memory. Memory can remember, processor can only execute, cannot remember, and they're best friends, they work together. In today's class we are going to focus more on input part of it, this piece. We have looked into how to generate output using print commands. Now, having said that, Java provides couple of classes to handle couple of commands, I would say, to handle input. The input is what you type from the keyboard. Now, a couple of things we have to always remember. The keyboard has all the characters. It has alphabets, it has numbers, it has special characters. So anything and everything that you enter on the keyboard is Java treats them as strings. It's a character. For you or me as a human, it's a number, but Java does not know. That's why Java treats every entry from the keyboard as a string. Having said that, Java provides couple of classes similar to system.out.println for output. It has couple of classes to accept input. And what is a class? We will talk a little bit more about it later, but for now just remember how to handle it, and then we will learn in detail about what is a class, what is a library in the subsequent chapter or classes. Now, Java, for the matter, has what we call it a scanner class. The scanner class is the code that we use to start and create an object of a scanner class. And again, the class and object, the words I'm using it, I'm going to describe it later. For just remember right now that we say scanner with capital S, and that is the variable name, that is the class name or type of the object, and then we give a variable name sc. It can be x, y, z, whatever. It's a variable name. And remember, every time we have this, the model, we say scanner sc, right? This is the data type and this is the variable name, and equal to, and we give some initialization. It is very similar to, we say int x equal to 10. So similarly, you have the type and you have the variable name equal to, and we say new scanner, and we pass, in the parentheses we system.in. Don't worry about it right now. I don't want to talk too much about the classes and instances and objects and all that part, which we'll learn later. But let's first remember that in order to accept the user input in your program from the user, always do import this statement, which is a library, and this scanner class is in this library. As I said, I'll talk more about it in the library, but for now remember, we say import java.util.star. That means every class or every functionality of this library, we are asking Java to load it for us so that we can use it. Now we are saying scanner sc equal to new scanner system.in. And now we are ready to use couple of methods this object or this class has. The one is very specific, is what we call it. We say sc.nextLine. This is the method on this variable sc that gives us to read the input from the user. So when this code runs, Java creates a new object called sc. Basically, we are going to use the scanner class, and now our version of scanner class now is sc, and we have a method called nextLine. When Java runs this code sc.nextLine, it shows you on the screen cursor, and Java program execution halts. It pauses there. It waits for the user to enter a value. When you enter a value and hit enter key on your keyboard, then the value is assigned to a variable we declared as a string and assigned to a variable called number1. Now what is the difference? Rather than saying string number1 equal to let's say 20. But the problem in this code is we are hard coding it 20 and saying my program will always use 20. But that's reality is not that program will always use 20. It is user's decision. The user can, suppose you ask somebody, hey, what's your age? You cannot use the age 20 as fixed value. The user can enter 10. Depends on if you're using, you may enter 17, somebody else using 40, somebody can say 45. It depends on the person who is using your program to enter that value. So how do you ask user to enter that value? You say sc.nextLine and you put parentheses, and that way whatever user entered, that value will come into the string number1. The reason I put it declare as a string, this variable, because remember whatever value user will enter here right now, whatever value user enters. So suppose I say string number1 equal to whatever value user entered will move to number1 variable. We are saying that take this value and move it to number1, and that variable should have a data type. What is the data type? String. Why? Because we know anything that you enter on the keyboard, Java treats that as a string. So that give us number1. Similarly, I ask another number and say what is the value on the screen? Say what is the second number, and user enters second number. I'm storing it in a second variable, and then finally I want to print the two variables by showing it on the screen that the user entered number1 and number2. And we'll talk more about it, what happens when you do like this. This is not a regular addition, but don't worry about it right now. But I took two values from the screen, from the user, and I printed the on the screen what is the value. So you can see here, let's say I want to say hello, we want to ask the user what is your name. But now I cannot use that value, a particular value in my code, because user, whoever is using, if I am using, I will enter Yash. If you are using, you may enter Ram, you may enter Rahim. It depends on what value you are entering, right? So what we are going to do is we'll declare a variable called name, because this is the variable in which I want to store the value. And I will say system.out.println, and I can show a message to the user that enter your name, so that user is aware that, hey, you are expected to enter a name. So you say system.out.print and enter your name. Now, after this, I'm creating an object here, and I want to use scanner class. So I did like this, and now when I say sc.nextLine, cursor will wait here. User will enter a value. So what's your name? It will show like this. What is your name? Question mark, and cursor will wait here. Remember, I did not say print line, I say print. So cursor will wait here. I should have ideally put print line so that cursor should wait here. Print, go to the next line, and cursor should wait here. And then I say next line. At this point of time, program execution is halted. User is asked to enter a value. Let's say user enters Ram. Once user enters Ram, this value Ram is dynamic now. This value Ram goes into variable name. And then when we go to here and say system.print, again I should have done print line here, and you say welcome, comma, space, and whatever is the value of name. So what is the value of name in the previous statement? Is the user entered Ram, so it became Ram, so it will print welcome, comma, Ram. That is how it will work. I hope this is clear. And as I said, you don't have to understand every part of this command. Just remember to use input, to take the input, write one line, and then write this second line. This two line is meant to receive input. This variable name can be anything for that matter. But this is two lines used to accept user's input from the keyboard. And that user could be anybody who is using your program. If you are running it, you will enter your own value. That's all in today's class. I'll see you guys again in the next class. We'll talk a little bit more about generating the output and printing.